सो अभी तक मेरा 24 एपिसोड वाला एनिमे कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ, बट दूसरे एनिमे में कंप्लीट करते जा रहा हूँ। एंड आई एम जस्ट क्वेश्चनिंग माई सेल्फ कि मैं 24 एपिसोड वाला एनिमे क्यों लिया, बिकॉज उसमें सिर्फ 10 एपिसोड अभी तक मैंने देखे। उससे अच्छा कोई 12 एपिसोड वाले एनिमे एक दिन में 2 या 3 बार देख लेता तो ठीक होता। नहीं, वो सेम एनिमे एक दिन में 2 या 3 बार नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, बट दूसरे एनिमे 2 या 3 बार, मतलब 2-3 एनिमे एक दिन में, यू नो, मेक सेंस। डोंट माइंड मी, जस्ट डोंट माइंड मी। एनीवेज, आज जो मैं के बारे में बात करने वाला हूँ, डेट इज कॉल्ड एंड यू नेवर थॉट देयर वाज अ गर्ल ऑन, नहीं क्या, एंड यू नेवर थॉट there would be any girl online. I don't know how to pronounce that anime's name. Okay, it's too long, too stretchy. The name is too much, but the anime isn't too much. And I actually enjoyed that anime for once, cause first time जब मैंने देखा था, it was like जब वो release हुआ था all the way back in like 2014 or anything like that, something like that. I watched it a long time ago, and it was like उस वक्त पे जो mentality थी मेरी for somebody who was younger and something like that, my mentality was harem. हैरम चाहिए भाई मेरे को। उसके बिना नहीं जमेगा मेरे को। आई वॉन्ट एन हैरम देयर, अनलेस एंड until I don't have a harem मेरे को नहीं जमेगा। that is the type of mentality I had. But when I rewatched this anime now, after all those years, I felt like this anime was too ahead for its time, man. Like literally too ahead for its time. Like आज के ज़माने में हम लोग देखते हैं कि ऑनलाइन शादियाँ होती है। that anime did accomplished that thing, like that anime accomplished the online marriage thing, online marriage बोले तो in game online marriage thing, which happens in today's generation. मैंने 2014 में back in the day मैंने कभी देखा नहीं था कि ऐसा कोई चीज़ होता है, so I was like really not into that kind of stuff, and I was more into the harem stuff and not into the smooth and lovely things that were happening in that anime. But I have to say that anime was way ahead for its time, and I think so that's why I did not like that anime, because now I see it I'm like, whoa, seriously, that anime came back such a long time ago, and it actually is like I would say it actually was way ahead of its time. Because अब के जनरेशन में देखोगे, अब के ईयर्स में देखोगे, नए ये सब नए साल में, you just see so many games with in-game marriages and in-game loots. And oh, by the way, not to forget loot boxes. Loot boxes was a thing. Pay to win was a thing after I would say something around Star Wars came in. That was around 2015, 2016 something, and this anime came before that. So this anime even predicted the loot boxes thing. It technically gave EA an idea कि हम लोग loot boxes डालेंगे हर गेम में, and तब से हर गेम में loot boxes आते हैं। सबसे बड़ा शिकार loot boxes का हम लोग बोला है तो रेड शैडो लेजेंड्स, जो हर हर यूट्यूबर का फेवरेट है, because it's Raid Shadow Legends. But yeah, like loot boxes were like unbelievable to see that loot boxes was a thing in that game, and pay to win was a thing in that game, and there was actually a person, a person who were used to use pay to win, who they called master and everything. And also there was the blonde chick who was a fighter class, warrior class. You had this defense tanky unit of Russian. Then you had the healer of Akko, which was pretty useless, because who needs a healer? A healer is pretty useless. कौन देखता है healer को? And I really like the whole guild battle system too, because again for that time, that period, अगर मैं देखा जाए तो for that time it's something that was weird of its time. Again, I'm saying, because it's just such an amazing job well done, and I think so that's why I guess the anime wasn't that well received. Because as I saw in the anime, मैं अभी तक कोई characters के बारे में बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि मैं उस पे भी आऊँगा एंड बोलूँगा कि उनमें भी कुछ फ्लॉज थे जो मुझे पसंद नहीं आए, बट फॉर देन anime to actually work up to that point, I think so lot of people did not expect कि जो वो anime कर रहा है वो एक्चुअल में फ्यूचर में जाके सब सारी चीज़ें वो इम्प्लीमेंट होने वाले थे, एंड दैट एक्चुअली वर्कड। लाइक सीरियसली, देयर नाउ वी सी सो मेनी द ओनली गेम्स दैट आई रिमेंबर जब मैं खेलता था और वो एनिमे निकला था वो क्लैश ऑफ क्लैंस आई गेस। क्लैश ऑफ क्लैंस मुझे याद है मैं खेलता था, एंड उसमें गिल्ड सिस्टम था। एंड आई गेस उस वक्त पे एक और गेम निकला था जिसमें गिल्ड सिस्टम था, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर, बट यू गेट द जिस्ट ऑफ इट। लाइक गिल्ड सिस्टम मैंने ज़्यादा देखा नहीं था कोई ज़्यादा गेम्स में, एंड दैट वाज अनदर थिंग दैट caught me by surprise. I was like, okay, that time and period, okay, that's surprising. Secondly, the other thing that I remember, that is each character, like the character, मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, एक मिनट, जस्ट गिव मी अ मोमेंट, मैं डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो गया मैं जिस चीज़ बोलना चाहता था। आई थिंक दैट आई रिमेम्बर फ्रॉम दैट एनिमे वाज हाउ रूशियन, इफ यू रिमेम्बर, उसका एक ये सिस्टम हैक होता है, जो अकाउंट हैक होता है, जो आजकल पबजी में सबका अकाउंट हैक होता है। दैट वाज अनदर थिंग दैट वाज क्वाइट कूल विद मी, बिकॉज आई इट फेल्ट लाइक दैट वाज वन ऑफ द रियलिस्टिक एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ हैविंग एन अकाउंट इन ए गेम, एंड तुम पब्लिकली कोई भी इससे अकाउंट यूज़ कर लेते हो, कंप्यूटर से या फिर फ़ोन तो नहीं होगा, बट कंप्यूटर से अब तुम पब्लिकली अकाउंट यूज़ करते हो अपना, ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव अ चांस ऑफ गेटिंग हैक्ड, एंड बेसिकली बिकॉज तुम लोग ये सब चीज़ें करते हो, एंड इट्स ए पब्लिक कंप्यूटर आफ्टर ऑल, सो it's one of the better things that I saw in this anime. Again, ahead of the time, amazing stuff this anime did when it came to the concepts and everything. Story. Let's talk about the story now that I've got all the concepts and everything out of the way. Story for this anime. It was decent, halfway decent. I wouldn't say it was anything specifically great or anything that I enjoyed. Concepts में बोलूँगा, I enjoyed the concept because those concepts were actually something that were implemented later on in real life, and I was like, oh my god, there are actually things that this anime did before time. But yes, as for अगर मैं बोलना चाहूँ कि the story, I felt like the story wasn't that great. To be honest, it was a very cliched story. Comedy was halfway decent, but the story was very cliched, and सब कुछ जो था वो expected था. And I'm not saying it's bad or anything in that way. Decent था. It had its moment. It had some of the moments where I was like, मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है मुझे. It like there were some moments there where I was like, yeah, that's cool. That's pretty amazing. There were cute moments too, and I actually like the development between Russian and Ako, especially जब Russian इसके घर पे जाता है उसको निकालने को. One of the biggest things, and or neat otaku type of character that I really liked about Ako, and how she just like progressively starts to get out of her house. I think so that's something that an otaku or somebody that's a shut-in can actually just relate to, because एक शटिन के लिए बाहर निकलना is really tough, and I think so a lot of shutting animes actually don't really accomplish that pretty well. The only anime that I remember, the only two anime that I remember that did the shut-in thing really well were one was NHK no Yokoso, if I'm correct, that's the name, NHK ni Yokoso, something like that. But yeah, that was a good anime which I remember. That was a masterpiece in my eyes. That was a masterpiece, and उसका रिव्यू भी आएगा, टेंशन मतलब, मेरे को बस वापस देखना पड़ेगा वो, and that's it. मेरे को scenes याद है but I don't remember specifically story, so उसके लिए मुझे वापस देखना पड़ेगा. And NHK no Yokoso was one of the best anime for a time it came out, and it still holds up to today. अगर कोई देखना चाहता है वो anime, please जाओ देखो. It's one of the best anime ever made. Second anime is Recovery of an Ammo Junkie, जो recently निकला है. Recovery of an Ammo Junkie was another great anime about a shut-in, and it's just such an amazing anime to watch just because I think so. It explains an adult shut-in, like an and working adult shut-in in just a it's in most simple way possible, and I like it. I like it for that. And MMO of Recovery Junkie was another great anime which actually tackled the shut-in thing pretty well. मुझे लगता है वो दो anime were top notch for me when it came to shut in people, and just if you guys ever get a chance, just watch those anime. One of the best they ever made when it comes to those type of anime. And I think so in general anime के generality में अगर मैं बोलूँ, those are the one of the best animes, one of the best slice of life animes I have ever seen. Those two, amazing job with them. Anyways, Coming back to this topic, yeah, I like those cute moments where Russian is helping out Ako from her shut-in problems and everything, and I think so. It worked really well in the end between their relationship. It was a one-way relationship, like starting with, then you see a development even in Russian starting to build up for Ako and everything. And I think so. वो भी बहुत सही लगा था मुझे because in start, of course, you don't know that person since the start unless you तुम अलग लेवल के थरकी हो और तुम लोग को जस्ट एक गर्लफ्रेंड चाहिए yeah, yeah, you are like this. But in general अगर तुम देखो, uh, for Ako who really liked Russian in general, and Russian is a normal person. He is somebody who differentiates two worlds. He differentiates the gaming world, differentiates the real world. He differentiates between the both, while Ako doesn't. And Roshan is somebody जिसको धीरे धीरे feelings develop होते हैं, and I like that part of it because I think so कोई भी एक normal इंसान इस डेवलपमेंट को लेगा, एक धीरे धीरे डेवलप होते जाएगा. दे विल रियलाइज दैट दे लव दिस सर्टेन पर्सन, एंड आई थिंक सो दैट वर्कड रियली वेल in general for this anime. As for the characters, I like the characters a lot. Like, I didn't find any of them annoying, to be honest. Every character had their part to play. Even the teacher had her part to play. I think so. एंड में थोड़ा ये मेरे को लगा कुछ ज़्यादा ही हो गया, बट अदर देन दैट मेरे को मोस्टली मज़ा आया एनिमे देखने में, बिकॉज आई फेल लाइक every character had their own traits. Every character was just for again, मैं एक पर्सपेक्टिव से देख रहा हूँ जब वो निकला था. ये पर्सपेक्टिव से नहीं देख रहा था 2020 में देख रहा था. अगर मैं 2020 में रेकमेंड करूँ, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ एनिमे बेटर देन दिस एनिमे, बट इट वाज फॉर दैट टाइम दिस एनिमे रियली रियली वाज वेल मेड. बट या इट्स वेल, इट्स वन ऑफ द एनिमे जो मुझे लगता है एक डिसेंट वन टाइम वॉच के लिए अच्छा है. इट्स नथिंग अबाउट वॉचिंग इट ओवर एंड ओवर अगेन. तुम लोग को मज़ा नहीं आएगा अगर तुम बार बार देखोगे तो. इट्स नॉट दैट टाइप ऑफ एनिमे, बट तुम एक बार वो एनिमे देखो, देन तुम, आई थिंक सो तुम लोग सेटिस्फाई हो गए वो एनिमे देख के. एंड प्लस उसका सीजन 2 आने भी नहीं वाला है बिकॉज इट्स बीन अ रियल लॉन्ग टाइम. आई थिंक सो अनलेस एंड अनटिल योर अटैक ऑन टाइटन, मुझे नहीं लगता कि सीजन 2 3 आने वाला है वो एनिमे का. बिकॉज अटैक ऑन टाइटन डिड accomplish that. It did break the curse of that long wait anime जो उसका सीजन 2 निकलेगा नहीं. Attack on Titan actually came up with a season 2 या 3, I don't remember, but it definitely came after like 6 years. It definitely came though. It definitely came and it definitely worked out well because I really enjoy Attack on Titan and its story. Amazing Attack on Titan. Again, great anime. किसी ने देखा नहीं, तुम एनिमे कम्युनिटी में हो क्यों अगर तुम लोग ने अटैक ऑन टाइटन देखा नहीं है तो? रियली really? क्या कर रहे हो हम एनिमे कम्युनिटी में आके? क्यों आ रहे हो तुम एनिमे कम्युनिटी में एक मास्टरपीस को छोड़ के? जाके पहले वो देखो फिर एनिमे कम्युनिटी में आके बात करो. गुड जॉब नाउ. एनीवेज, एंड इन जनरल अगर मैं बोलूँ नेटोगे के बारे में, नेटोगे इज it's a decent way okay anime for me because I feel like it isn't anything special. It doesn't accomplish anything special except for doing things ahead of its time. Like I it's all the characters, the cast are pretty cool, but other than that, I don't feel like it specifically does anything unique for itself. And अगर मैं बोलूँ then it's a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 type of anime. It's nothing special again. And I've seen many better anime than that, to be honest, and that's the reason why I say it. Because कोई भी फर्स्ट टाइम व्यूअर अगर मेरे को आके बोले कि मुझे ये anime बहुत अच्छा लगा, it was definitely an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, then I'll be like, yeah, कितने anime देखे? So yeah, I think so that's all I have to say for this anime. In all honesty, तुम लोग का ओपिनियन क्या है इस एनिमे पे? डिड यू लाइक इट, डिड यू डिसलाइक इट? तुम लोग भी मेरे से एग्री करते हो देन कमेंट में नीचे बताना. अपना स्कोर दे देना, क्या लगता है तुम लोग को आउट 1 आउट ऑफ 10 में से कितना आना चाहिए इसको स्कोर? पर्सनली अगेन आई सेड 5 और 6 मेरे लिए, इन ऑल ऑनेस्टी. एंड या दैट्स इट फॉर दिस एनिमे. लेकिन मैं तुम लोग का कोई एनिमे रिकमेंडेशन हो जिसको मैं कवर करना कर सकता हूँ देन वो भी बोल देना. मैं डेफिनेटली ट्राई करूँगा कवर करने की वो एनिमे को. एंड आई विल बी डन फॉर टुडे. अंटिल देन, पीस आउट.